Sort of facing towards Flat Rock, just looking at the crowd and the mountain range, and all of a sudden I felt this surge of water, and I went, "Whoa, what is that?" And then I saw this big fish come up, hit my board. When it did, it pushed me up in the air at about a 45-degree out of the water, and then the next thing you know, I'm thinking, this is real. This is real, you know. And so as I was up on the board, I just slid down with my hands and my legs and landed on the shark's back, probably about 2 foot from his head at the most, you know. And I was going, this is a huge guy, you know. I wouldn't say maybe close to 2 foot, but maybe not that much, you know. And as I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this guy, and he's real calm. After the strike, he seemed to be calm. And he was just sitting there, and I noticed his back, you know, his spine or whatever, backbone, was running forward. And I couldn't really see his eyes or anything, but I started going, wow, this is really unreal.
First it's real, and then it's unreal.
And no drugs involved.
No drugs. I quit that a long time ago.
Flashback.
And so I'm sitting there going, okay, this is a very serious situation. Don't screw up. And as I sat there, I did have a connection with this shark, though. There was something that was kind of like, wow, this is unreal or real or both
Surreal.
In one package.
Surreal.
But everything was slow motion. And so as I was sitting there, I said, okay, you have to make the right decision. And I can't remember if I got off and took my cord off or took my cord off and got off. At the time, I didn't realize he had already bitten my cord in half. So after I did my cord, I slipped off. He was totally composed. I was composed. And I swam behind and around to get to the reef, because he was parallel to the reef. We were parallel to the reef. He didn't come from the outside. He came along the reef. And then, as I don't know how long it was, because time was, you know, it was a time factor zone. The next thing you know, I look over and I see my board bobbing, and I saw no shark. So I looked around, I didn't see any action, so I swam over to my board, got on it, and then Leslie paddled over and was sort of going, I saw that, you want to go in? Let's go in, you want to go in? And I was going, yeah, I guess so. You know, I was kind of in a state of shock, or it could have been in a frozen time frame of, what do you call that, where you prepare for danger.
Right.
Yeah.
Survival.
So, survival mode, yeah. And so I paddled in, and then I was all alone, and I was talking, then some guys paddled over, and we started talking, and everybody wanted to see the board. Of course, I showed them the tail, and I was just kind of in a frame of mind. I didn't, you know, I was observing, processing everything. The next thing you know, I'm catching a wave or two, and I said, well, I'll catch a better one than that. Quit on a good one, you know. So I finally caught one at the bowl, and paddled on.
And he had one fin out of 3 fins left.
Isometric.
Yeah. So he still could surf. It bit off 2 fins, but he had 1 fin left.
Yeah, and it was the outside fin going right. And I was really amazed at how nice it was.
You're going to keep it that way?
Well, I'm not going to touch the board, but it could be a new design factor.
Good.
Prototype.
Yeah. So I surfed for another 30 to 45 minutes, and then I came on in, and everybody was at the beach being very courteous and caring and understanding, and I thought that was great. It was a great community, you know.
So let me just get this straight.
Yeah.
You were in the water. It was late afternoon, about 4 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and you were surfing in Honolulu. How big was the surf?
3 foot, maybe a little bigger at the most.
How about the water? Was it cloudy at all, or was it quite clear?
I've seen it clear, but it wasn't murky.
Okay. And was it a cloudy day, overcast, or sunshine, or?
Overcast off and on, yeah, and a little drizzle now and then, but not much.
So you were just sitting on your board.
Yeah.
and you were waiting for a wave, like we all do, wait for a set wave to come in, or wait for something that, you know, is
Right.
coming your way.
Yeah.
Were you at Flat Rock, or were you at the Bowl, or where were you?
I was at the point, the furthest guy out, but Leslie was the furthest person over.
She was down toward Hideaways.
Yeah, she was further over, and I was further out though, but I wasn't quite as far over as she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were just sitting there, and when the shark made its first contact with you, was it a big impact, or was it slow motion beginning then, or what was the feeling that you felt?
That was a pretty big impact. That there made me realize that something serious was going on that I've never experienced before, and I went, "Oh, this is the real thing," kind of frame of mind.
Now the board went up at a 45-degree angle. Obviously, you knew that the shark had a hole in your board, or, you know, something was happening.
Right.
And did you hold on to the rails of your board, or was it the impact so much that you let loose and you literally slid down the shark's back?
No, I held on to the rails, like, you know, if you're going to go over a wave
Right.
or duck dive or whatever. I held on to the rails, but when it was up, when I was pretty high up, at probably the highest peak, I slid down with my hands all the way down the rails and my legs, and just sat right on him. Sat right on him, yeah.
Do you have any idea? I know time was kind of a time warp, but do you have any idea how long you may have been on the shark's back?
I would say at the minimum of 5 seconds and the maximum of probably 8 or 10. But I think more like 5, yeah, because it was so, like, time frame, you know, slow motion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From a rodeo perspective.
No, that could have been the longest one so far.
Yeah, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
I think gives you the trophy, right?
Yeah,
Just to make sure.
Right. You're the champ. Okay.
Yeah, you're the champ. So far, you're the champ.
The saltwater cowboy from Kauai.
Broken bottom.
board. The power of the lunge, and I went, "This is real. You've got to be calm." And what I did is I went into this frame of mind of being like I'm prepared for the worst, you know. And as I slid down the board and sat on his back, I said, "You know, this is real. You've got to do the right things." So, but at that point right there, I was looking at his back and head, and I was going, "Wow, he's so calm right now." And this is kind of like, sort of like a connection that I had. I even, this morning as I was thinking it over again, for the shark's sake and for the shark of being that close to it and us being able to connect, I cried. And it was a nice feeling.
Very
It was,
spiritual.
Yeah, it was for the shark.
Let me ask you this,
Beautiful, man.
and maybe you've thought about this. What would your feelings be to the reaction of maybe some fishermen saying, "We got to go out and get that shark"?
Yeah.
What would your advice be to them?
Oh, I would say let nature be, you know.
Shark rider, shark rider. You know I'm riding that bugger like never before. You know it quickens my blood to be out here once more. Liquid rolling mountains, far as I can see, and the howling wind, my tiger and me. Shark rider. Shark rider. One track mind, endless desire. Hop up on his back, be a shark rider. Carving up and down the face, doing aerials off the lip, hanging on for dear life, door so tight in my grip. Speed and emotion, how can I resist? Oh, there is only one thing better than a shark rider. Hey. I'm a shark rider. Shark rider. Riding. Oh, my back against the wind. Riding. Takes my mind off everything. Riding.